All right, here I am, SC Arms, Scarms to the locals here, Savage Cerakote. Talk to us. Coolest, potentially newest, is it the newest gun shop in New Jersey?
No. We are probably the third newest gun shop
Third newest gun shop in New Jersey.
There's so many popping up left and right. We are growing a lot faster than expected. We are looking into venturing off into bigger and better things soon. We don't want to say anything yet, but there is plans in the pipeline. I mean, what more can I say? We love selling guns. We love our customers here in New Jersey. We are on the forefront of some of the strictest gun laws in the entire country. We do compliance work. We do anything and everything for the law-abiding citizen here in New Jersey. So if you want to stop by the store and come see us, we'll gladly take care of you.
Spotswood, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So I was here, I don't know, less than a year ago, and it's obviously busier. You've got an incredible amount of inventory. You do a lot of work in the back. Of course, you were known for doing work on guns, right? Whether it was Cerakoting or anything else. Then you got into the FFL, and we talk about being one of the strictest states, one of the most restricted states for sure. But obviously, we got ARs, we got AKs, we got pump shotguns, we got some hunting guns with wood over there.
We got these new non-NFA 12.5s and 10.5s that magically became legal in New Jersey too, which is awesome.
All right, so talk about that, because that may surprise a lot of people, because essentially those are braced pistols, right?
Yes, so let me bring one over here into play. This is empty, just in case anybody wanted to see that. This is from Darkstorm Industries. This is the 12.5 non-NFA 308. Comes with an adjustable pistol brace, which is obviously already an amazing feat in New Jersey. It has a comp on it that does not need to be pinned or welded, and you can put a flash suppressor on it only because the overall length exceeds a certain limit. It's got a vertical foregrip and the adjustable pistol brace, which makes it legal in New Jersey. How? I don't know, but it's awesome and we love it.
Right, so this is something to celebrate, right? So I mean, I remember when it was like, okay, no more, right? Everybody was pretty sure there was going to be no more ARs, no more AK variants, nothing in New Jersey, and really, this is an example of things getting better.
Way better.
And people, sometimes we were afraid to admit that, but we really have regained a lot of ground across the country. I talk about it a lot. One of the areas that New Jersey really suffers the most in, however, and New Jersey's had a concealed carry permit law going way back, essentially forever. I think there was never a time when there wasn't one in New Jersey. So I talk a lot about, if you go back to the 80s, places like Texas couldn't get a concealed carry permit, period. Alaska couldn't get a concealed carry permit, period. Jersey, you always could, theoretically. What's going on nowadays with carry permits in Jersey? Anything changing there? Anything on the horizon?
It's not really as far as changing anything. People always look for loopholes on how to get their concealed carry permit. If you work in EMT or if you work at an armed guard, truck or whatever, people always try to finagle their way in there. Yes, Jersey is still the strictest state in the country on getting your concealed carry permit. What I do recommend is if you do want to get your concealed carry permit, there's steps that you should take. Get certified in a lot of things. Take courses. Basically create the biggest pamphlet of information that you can hand to your local chief in the department that you work with, because that's what they're going to be looking for. You got to see, you got to prove yourself to these chiefs and to the courts that you could carry a gun safely in this state. If you don't have that, then I don't recommend applying, because if you get denied, it's just going to make it 10 times harder for you to get your concealed carry permit in the state.
So have your ducks in a row before you do it.
Yes.
I've been trying for years. I've been encouraging people to actually try. I mean, I think the numbers are ridiculous. It's like 300 people a year or something. Hardly anybody tries. And of course, if hardly anybody's trying, then what's going to happen? The elected officials are going to look at it and say, this is a non-issue. Why are we even talking about this? Why worry about it? It's not worth 30 votes to fight this fight. But on the other hand, if thousands of people got their ducks in a row and applied, that might start to change things. So I know that you guys try to get as much education as you can through this organization that you're running here, but also you ally with a lot of other people that are teaching and training. You've been to my classes here in Jersey. I know you and your guys have attended a lot of classes. What do you think is the most important thing that people can do? The election's passed. Okay, so now we're coming up on the presidential election year, but other than that, what about the grassroots activities here in Jersey?
Safety. Safety is always number one. You guys got to be safe with firearms. Like I said, you have to prove yourself to the public. Who's going to give you the right to carry a gun if you don't know how to, aim it properly or do magazine changes or trigger safety or anything like that. You know, just don't apply for a concealed carry permit if somebody robbed a piece of gum out of your truck or something like that, or car, because they're not going to give you a concealed carry permit for that. You know, it's got to be a legitimate reason. You know, you'd have to have your life threatened, or you have to, you know, like I said, have a big pamphlet of stuff before you apply for it. Just, it's not going to work. It's not that easy.
And the idea is if more people can get the permission to carry, and more people can demonstrate that it can be done responsibly, then that's how hopefully things might eventually change here. New Jersey is not one of those places we think of as the forefront of gun rights, but again, the braced pistol is an example. I mean, you've got the latest greatest. You got like the 365 SAS here. You really do sell a lot of guns. I know there's a lot of gun culture in New Jersey. This is where I grew up. I left in the late 80s, but even just the other night I was out here with some high school friends, and every one of the guys that were out playing pool, they're all gun owners. People in New Jersey, I know there are a lot of proud gun owners, but they aren't necessarily active grassroots. Kind of keep to ourselves, kind of, you know, hang out at the gun shops, hang out at the gun range, and that's obviously going to be a big part of this. Now, you came down to the DC rally. Give everybody, you know, what you're, because it looks like we're probably going to try to do that again. We've talked a little bit about it, kind of teasing that out. We'll make an announcement officially here sooner or later, I'm sure. We're trying to make sure we have the dates and the permits are available and all that. Meanwhile, what did you think of the rally?
We need numbers. Was it a great turnout? Yes. There was, I mean, probably around 1,000 people.
Oh, no, there was a couple thousand. You were
Probably
front row, yes. I think
I was front row, so I didn't even look behind me because
Yeah.
I was just focused on all the speakers. There were a lot of great speakers there. We need more numbers, though. Me as a business owner in New Jersey, it's already tough for me to do business because of guns in New Jersey. I closed my store down and took my employees and I drove down to DC just to show support, just to show numbers, because that's what we need in the 2A community. If you're not willing to do that, maybe you shouldn't own a gun. We need more people. We need to get out there and fight. We got guys all over the place, instructors, speakers, podcasters, all over the place, like Simon. He does these podcasts all the time. You know, you guys need to listen to these guys and do what's right for the 2A community. If you're not doing that, then maybe you shouldn't be in it.
And I'm actually going to be doing one of these lives here as I do my New Jersey gun tour today. I'm going to do one of these lives with Tony Simon, the diversity shoots and things like that he does. He was also at the rally. Now, let me ask you a question. So let me see. I'm going to grab the phone device here and see if we have any questions. You guys have any questions for Derek or New Jersey gun law or whatever else, go ahead and ask him. But what I want to ask you right now is if you could change one thing locally on the New Jersey gun scene, what would it be?
Magazine capacity, because that means absolutely nothing in this state. Or the adjustability of a stock on a regular rifle in New Jersey. What difference does this gun make in this position or this position? There's what does it do? That's what I want to see changed. Either that or a magazine capacity.
Bob just checked in. Bob was down there with you. Yeah, I absolutely. I agree 100%, right? We talk about magazine capacity being this big stickler issue, right? Yeah. What, like, either like feature bands, there's nothing on the, like, what else would you want on an AR, right? It's compact, it's versatile, it does everything you want it to do. This is obviously a 308, so it's a little bit heavier, but you've got the 223 versions up there, 5.56. There's nothing more that somebody would want for a personal defense, home defense weapon, or just a fun gun to shoot as far as this goes. So the distinction between that and an SBR or some other gun that doesn't have the magic combination of features is ridiculous. Now, magazine capacity obviously is something that forever. How long has it been since it was 15 rounds? I mean, that's 20 years.
That's been holy crap.
I mean, like forever. Yeah, 15 rounds came in during the 90s, I think, under the federal assault weapons ban. And then when the federal assault weapons ban went away, I think was when New Jersey probably put in its permanent 15-rounder is what I'm imagining. And then just last year, now it's been 10 rounds. Are you aware of any statistics or findings or any reports that somehow violent crime in New Jersey has been reduced because they went from 15 rounds to 10 rounds?
Yes.
Something like no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, something exactly like no.
No.
So now you mentioned earlier you do the compliance work. So you have modified mags for people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you store mags? If people wanted to store their mags, are you doing that?
We do not. If you want it done, I mean, it's way past the deadline anyway. You shouldn't even be in possession of it just because it's considered a felony in the state. But we won't turn people down if they bring their magazines in here, because obviously they want to be compliant. We'll do it for you, just so you don't get into trouble. But we still do that here. Absolutely.
Right, and there were other places that were taking them in for people that wanted to store them, hoping that eventually that 10-round mag ban would sunset. And again, remember the thing, it was 15 rounds here, then it went to 10, and that incrementalism is a big part of what we have to suffer through here in this community, especially in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Tell me about it. All right, listen, man, love what you're doing with the shop. Appreciate you supporting the 2A rally and everything else you do. You do a lot for the gun community here. Obviously, you support, we talked about Tony Simon earlier, the stuff you do for local law enforcement, too. A lot of good liaison that you do with local law enforcement, helping them out, reconditioning some of their guns, putting the Cerakote on, getting them the guns they want, obviously, through your FFL. Really good stuff, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Anytime.
Yeah. All right. If you have questions, I'm going to do 2 or 3 more stops today on the New Jersey Gun Tour.
SC Arms Company, though. Follow us on Instagram.
Oh, definitely. SC Arms Company. There was one question here I was gonna throw over to you. Where was it? Here it is. Hollow points. Talk about hollow points, because that gets confusing to a lot of people.
You're allowed to buy them. You're allowed to shoot them at the range, but the moment you use them in a crime or self-defense case or something like that, you can't have them. It's illegal.
What about in the house? Can you have them loaded in the house?
You cannot.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like
it's
a real
gray area in the state that you just don't want to get involved. If you want to go to the range and use your hollow points, absolutely do that by all means. But some range are very specific on the ammo that you use too. They only want frangible type ammo, no hollow points, no nothing.
You're a big hunter too,
yes.
Right? How's your season been so far?
It's all right. We're waiting for our big bucks. So.
All right, thanks again, man.
No problem.
Tony Simon, Diversity Shoot. Second Amendment's for everyone. We are at the Union Hill Gun Club, relatively new club, less than 2 years old here in Jersey. And it's interesting, my first stop on the New Jersey Gun Tour was over with Derek, which is a gun shop that's been open for less than 2 years. Now we're at a new gun range. We're actually at the ROC training room, Rocco's training room here, which he talked to me about building. I think he didn't put up quite enough whiteboards. I told him whiteboards everywhere. He's got 2. He needs about 8. Talk to people about what's going on in Jersey. Why are so many new gun shops, expanding gun shops, new gun ranges? What's going on?
Well, pretty much it's human nature. When you tell people they can't have something, they want it. Jersey has draconian gun laws, and that makes people want to get out, buy a gun, makes them want to go to a range because you have to go to a range. It's urban area, mostly in Jersey, so you can't go out in the backyard and shoot like you can in some places.
Right, now when I grew up down in the Pinelands, we'd shoot down in the sand pits and like that, and some people still do, but you're right. For the vast majority of New Jersey, there is no just going out in your backyard and shooting, hunting, any of that. So what do you think? So you're telling me that people aren't taking the internet advice and just moving?
Hey, listen, love you guys on the internet, but I'm not moving my entire family to make you happy. I know gun laws suck here. That's why I'm fighting to change them. Trying to recruit you guys to help me fight to change them. And not just, look, 2A4E is just a workshop. What I try to do is introduce you to other Second Amendment advocacy groups in the state, CNJFO, NJ2AS. I want you to meet these guys. I want you to get out and shoot. That's why we have the Minuteman Challenge at minutemanchallenge.com to get you to take your gun, whatever it is, and come to one of our events. And even if you don't have a gun, we'll provide it. We want to make the Second Amendment living. We want you to shoot your gun and understand what you'll lose, because if you don't exercise it right, you don't appreciate it. And that's what we're trying to get you to do.
You give of your time, and you are heavily supported here locally. You've done an event here. Obviously, you do a lot with Anthony over at Gun for Hire. I'm going to go up and see his range. I'm going to do one of the New Jersey Gun Tour Lives with him later today. I know you're friends with Derek. I've seen you've come out to my classes up Cobra 1. You're all over the place. You actually shoot at the Fort Dix range, Range 14.
Range 14 on Fort Dix.
Talk about the strength of the gun community, because when I grew up here, and I left, 20-something years ago, in the late 80s, I left. And while, I knew a lot of guys, through my dad, obviously, that were involved in law enforcement, I really didn't have a lot of friends who were shooters or friends who were gun people, per se, right? I had a group of hunting people, I had law enforcement people, but not gun people. You are in deep with the gun people of New Jersey, and you bring people into that community. What's it like?
The gun people are great as individuals. As a whole, once you get on the internet, a bunch of y'all are jerk-offs. But as a whole, they're some of the greatest people. Now, I came here in '93. I didn't get involved in the gun community because of Jersey's laws until 2012. 2012, I got involved. I got my firearms ID card. I started shooting. I got my little 10/22. I wanted to be part of the community. Actually, no, in 2010, I visited the Hole in the Wall Gang Single Action Shooting Society. I saw it on the internet, and I said, hey, that looks like something cool. They're in Jackson, New Jersey. Let me go check them out. Here's a phone number. Called it, and it was the guy's cell phone on a Sunday while they were having a shoot. He said, I'm driving to the event now. Can I come? He was like, sure, you can be my guest. Come on down. So I drove to Jackson, which is about an hour and a half.
Which, by the way, if you're in New Jersey, an hour and a half is like, you need, a lot of people would plan weeks ahead of time to go an hour and a half in Jersey.
Nah. So
That's like half a state.
I'm driving to Jackson, and I'm at the gate, punching it in the middle of nowhere, in a town I've never been before, and I went, wait a minute, I'm about to go hang out with a bunch of white people that glorify the Old West. It wasn't a stellar time for brothers. I'm just saying.
Fact.
It doesn't seem like it would be a good thing for me to do. I went there, and it was the friendliest group of people you ever met. Sadly, I didn't have my firearms ID card at the time, so I couldn't shoot any of the cool guns they wanted to let me shoot. Range rules, I guess, or maybe even Cowboy Action Society rules. I don't know, but they didn't allow me to. But friendliest people you ever met, and they'd never seen me before. When I started Diversity Shoot in 2015 and Gun for Higher Range, I wanted to extend that feeling of fellowship, community, and openness and inclusiveness with anyone that came out. I started saying everyone is welcome because I started Black History Month, and I guess people just assumed it was only for blacks.
Right, like let's do that. Let's just only black people can come to this event. I'm sure that was what you were going for, right?
Yeah, not at all. I said it was the Black History Month Diversity Shoot because it was Black History Month. Anyway, but I since clarified all people, regardless of religion, race, gender, sexual orientation, or background, are welcome to the Diversity Shoot. Next one is December 5th, the Gun for Higher Range. Come out. Anti-gun. Cool. Come out. I want to talk to you. We can have a conversation. The entire point is to be able to actually have this conversation. You're willing to be polite. We're willing to meet you at 60%. We're willing to understand that you believe what you believe, but let's talk. That's all. And if you leave there still anti-gun, cool. But at least you saw regular people. You saw that we're not monsters that care more about our guns than our children. That's the whole point, is to actually talk to people. We only talk about Second Amendment stuff there. There's no immigration. There's no build a wall. There's no... Listen, people try to use different things to put us in boxes just so we don't get along. That's bullcrap, and I don't accept that.
You know, that was a big part of what we did. You came down to support the 2A rally in D.C. About a week and a half ago, and a big part of that was coalition. People that, you know, even, and people like, for example, in New Jersey, right? It's, well, I don't go to that range because so-and-so, or I don't shop at that store, or, you know, that guy has bad blood with that guy, right? It happens everywhere, but even in Jersey, it's a tight-knit, small community. It's a very densely populated area that you are with a stone's throw between your business competitors. But at the end of the day, New Jersey Second Amendment Association, Coalition New Jersey Firearms Owners. There's all these organizations that have to work together at some level, right, to get things done. You work together with a lot of different people. You always have. Tell me your thoughts coming away from the DC, the 2A rally.
I really felt the 2A rally was great. I mean, I've said it on other podcasts, and I'm saying it here. It was a meeting of people. You stopped the bullcrap, and it was really the 2A heavy lifters, the people that get it done in their state, the people that go to rallies in their state. Carrie Sloan from We the Female, she had people at her Airbnb meeting up who wanted to get into activism, and it turned into this great thing. As we're sitting out on the lawn, there were a bunch of other people that came, a lot of them from Jersey, by the way, but they came to meet other activists. I've booked so far 2 different podcasts just based on going there. Ideas are exchanged. This thing will be bigger than we think. I believe you said ripple effect, which, you know, is really a good description of what that 2A rally brought. I said just, it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. And he was like, ripple effect. Huge. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Well, a big part of it was inspiring me. We said, you know, there's not going to be 50,000 people there. There's not going to be 500,000 people there. No. There's going to be a few thousand people there. Even with the parade, we still managed, I think, you know, between 2,000 and 3,000 filtered in during the day. At peak, we were probably about 2,000 people standing there 3.5 hours. And I think that what we wanted to do was accomplished in terms of inspiring people to go back home, do things, get on the internet and do things, share the messages. You know, there's 29, 30 speakers. You're going to pick the 6 that really stood out to you, and it's a different 6 for this person, different 6 for this person, different 6 for this person. And it does look like we're going to try to do it again next year, and we'll have a different group of people up there. There'll be some of the same speakers, some new speakers. Hopefully you'll be supporting us again. You'll be down there. Again, a strong turnout from Jersey this year, relatively easy drive. But the biggest thing was inspiring people to take action. I actually talked to a group out west that's going to be using a variation of our 2A flag with the stars and the bars there to be, not that one, not that. I know you're all worried about that. You go to his first event, he's like, what are those? Oh, man. But our stars and bars are pretty, you know, it's simple, right? It's 2A, it's 13 stars, it's a few stripes, and all kinds of people are going to be using it, right? We didn't trademark it for a reason. There was no business entity set up for the DC rally, and there's going to be an organization out west doing a rally that's going to put their hashtag down at the bottom, and you're going to use it. And I think some other people are going to use it. And I want to see that kind of spirit of coalition and working together, putting all those other things aside, even the personal issues that we might have amongst each other, or the differences we have in terms of which organizations we support, or which ranges we teach at, or which guns we carry. Put all that aside, and let's do the good work.
Yeah, we're going to have to be inclusive in this if we want to make this work. You want to grow the community, you can't dictate who's in the community. There's a reason that the NRA only had 5 million members. It was that base they wanted. Well, if there are 80 million gun owners and there are
100 million.
100 million gun owners and 365 million Americans, let's make that move, man. Let's do this ourselves and not depend on another entity to grow this. We have to be grassroots. We are the gun community. Mm-hmm. We have to make this work. And it's going to be on us. Just because you pay a fee every year doesn't mean your activism stops. Your activism is who you are. It's going to the range and being a decent human being, introducing new people. You all have done it. Every gun owner in here has walked up to a stranger and go, hey, you want to shoot my whatever? Mm-hmm. And you brought people to the range. We have to keep doing that, but we have to reach outside of the little boxes that we allow other people to put us in. That's why I host a diversity shoot. That's why I'm asking all people to come out, to make them feel comfortable making that initial step. And usually it takes one person in a group and they go, hey, I went there, Tony's event was pretty cool, so I'm bringing my girlfriend and 2 of her friends.
And like you said, it's not just us as gun people getting out of our individual boxes and working with one another, but it's us getting out of our gun person box and just being a person. And then as we talk, if it comes up, oh, and also, hey, by the way, I'm going to the range, or hey, there's this event next month, or hey, you know, do you carry a gun? Do you own a gun? Or have you ever shot a gun? Do you hunt? Do you compete? Whatever it is, would you be interested in it? We create these opportunities to bring people into the fold. We don't have to lead with shall not be infringed. You know what how do you feel about shall not be infringed? Well, that's probably not a good way to start the conversation if somebody isn't already like shall not be infringing you with, you know, their shirt.
And and here's the thing. I totally understand a lot of us that have been involved. Some guys since the 90s in Second Amendment advocacy.
Why you got to make me sound old?
Hey, because you are. Meanwhile, we're the same age. I understand how it gets annoying sometimes. I really do. The same old questions, the same old boilerplate responses. Understand though, the person is saying this, think they came up with an original idea. Like sure. They have an actual, yep. They're 100% honest with you that they have this thought.
Imagine how many times I've heard somebody say they have a great idea for a gun range. Right? Now take that and make that all the world coming to you and saying, hey, what about this? Have you considered, you know, why does somebody really need an AR-15? You're gonna step out, you want to be an activist, you want to be an advocate, you better have a really patient face for that question, and then a really good answer that isn't the answer that Tony and I would hear. Like, it's the answer that someone who really believes that's a legitimate question, you got to have an answer for them. So, hey, I appreciate everything you're doing. You know, you mentioned it's not enough just to send in your membership money or send in your dues or whatever, but it is important to go ahead and support any organization. I always say support your local and state organizations. You're a local activist, but you get national attention, and I know you have national influence. You had people copycat some of what you're doing around the country, not in a bad way. It's what you want. But how do people help you out?
You can help me out by going to diversityshoot.com. We have the GoFundMe link there. We have a PayPal link there. I don't care what their thing is. I'm not selling anything gun related. It's just about your rights. You can support me through there. You can also...
I know you do Patreon because that's how I help out every once in a while.
Yep. This is one of my patrons. Thank you. You can also buy one of my shirts. all the way up to 6X. You can go to it directly through diversity.
Literally one of yours, or just
no?
Okay.
And but
if you're trying to house a family,
let me explain. You can go to 1022clothing.us. It's like 5'11", but twice as big. Yes.
Damn right it is. Hey man, thanks for the work you do.
Thanks,
Appreciate you helping me out with my New Jersey gun tour today.
All right.